Today's video is going to help you with the last part of the assignment. Now, sometimes reaction is going to be given to us in sentence form, so we have to figure out what is the chemical formula of our products and reactants, write out the whole reaction, and still balance it. What I need you to do from now on is whenever you see a reaction, you have to balance it. So the first one that I have for us is this one. It says barium hydroxide reacts with hydrofluoric acid to produce barium fluoride and water. This is bringing back stuff that we learned in chapter 9. Sorry, I'm having a little technical issues with my tripod. Okay, I'm going to try to do it like this. Alright, so barium hydroxide. How do we figure that out? Well, that goes back to, looking at your ions. So barium hydroxide. Barium is in group 2, so it's going to have a +2 charge as an ion. Hydroxide, that's one of our polyatomic ions. OH with a -1 charge. So +2, -1. Charges are not alike. So what is the least common multiple between 2 and 1? 2. So we need to have 2 hydroxides to get us to -2 and only 1 barium to get us to the +2. So our formula Ba, then to show that we have 2 hydroxides, we're going to put our formula OH inside parentheses and 2 on the outside. Now, reacts with hydrofluoric acid. Okay, so we have an acid. Well, we know that we're going to have a hydrogen ion. Now, hydrofluoric, that's telling us that our anion ends with IDE, fluoride. And if it ends with IDE, that's usually the element by itself. So fluoride is fluorine. Fluorine is in group 7, so it's going to have a -1 charge. Our charges are like numbers, so 1-to-1 ratio, HF. Alright, so now, solubility. Hydroxides. All insoluble except with group 1A, ammonium, barium, strontium, and calcium. Okay, so since barium is an exception to the rule, barium hydroxide is going to be aqueous. Now hydrofluoric acid. Well, we can kind of look at this in either way. So if we look at the fluorides, all soluble except with magnesium, calcium, strontium, barium, lead. We don't see hydrogen there, or if we go down to hydrogen, all common inorganic acids and low molecular mass organic acids are soluble. That's one of our common inorganic acids, aqueous. Yields 2, okay, to produce barium fluoride. So we have the barium ion, +2 charge, with our fluoride ion, -1. That comes out to be BaF2. Okay, so +2, -1, least common multiple is 2, so 1 barium, 2 fluorines. And it says and water. Hopefully you can kind of figure out what is the formula for water. Now, what are states of matter for both of these? So if we look for the fluorides, barium fluoride, all soluble except with magnesium, calcium, strontium, barium, and lead. Lead 2. So barium is an exception to the rule, makes it solid. Now, water is going to be in the liquid form. So there's our reaction. Now we still need to balance it. Okay, so kind of go through the rules again. All non-hydrogen oxygen elements first. 1 barium, 1 barium. Good to go there. 1 fluorine, 2 fluorines. So we need to put a coefficient 2 out on there, so we have 2 fluorines on the left-hand side. Next step is go to hydrogens. Well, if we look on the left-hand side, we have 2 plus 2, we have 4 hydrogens. Right-hand side, we only have 2. So let's put a coefficient 2 out in front of water. Now we have 4 hydrogens on the right-hand side. Then our last step is balance oxygens. Now, a lot of times, as I said before, if we go through step 1 and we go through step 2, step 3 might be done for us already. Well, let's just check. 2 oxygens, 2 oxygens. So this is completed. All right, let's look at our next example. It says liquid octane. Now, for this one, I gave us the formula for octane because we haven't really talked about simple organic compounds. So liquid octane, its chemical formula C8H18, burns in the presence of oxygen to produce carbon dioxide and water vapor. All right, so figuring this out. Octane's one of our reactants, C8H18. Now it says that it's liquid, so it's in the liquid state. And it burns in the presence of oxygen. Now oxygen is one of our diatomic elements, 1,7. So we're going to put O2. And if we look at our periodic table, what state of matter is oxygen at room temperature? Well, in this one, the symbol is red. And down on our key, it says that red is gas. So we're going to put a G after it. To produce carbon dioxide. Okay, well, that's one of our simple molecular compounds. Carbon is our first element, and since we don't have a prefix with it, it's only one. Dioxide, our second element, is oxygen, and that prefix di is telling us that it is 2. Now, carbon dioxide, that's a simple compound. We already know about it. We expel it whenever we breathe, so it is in the gaseous form. And water vapor. Okay, well, water vapor, the formula for water, H2O, vapor, that's telling us that it is in the gaseous form. So here's our reaction. Now what we need to do is balance it. Eight carbon, 1 carbon, so let's put an 8 right there. 18 hydrogen. Only 2, so I'm going to put a coefficient of 9. Okay, so 2 oxygen. Now, how many oxygens do we have over on the right-hand side? So 18 times 2 is 16, plus 9 more is 25. Here's one of those if-then statements that I showed you before spring break. If we only have 2 oxygens on the left-hand side and we have an odd number on the right, we're going to put that odd number over 2 in front of the O2, then multiply everything by 2. So octane is going to have a coefficient of 2. Oxygen is going to have a coefficient of 25 because 25 over 2 times 2. The 2's cancel out. This 8 is going to be 16. And the 9 is going to be 18. So our coefficients, 2, 25, 16, 18. Now let's do one more for good measure. So it says, solid calcium nitrate reacts with lithium sulfate to produce lithium nitrate and calcium sulfate. Now calcium nitrate, okay, ionic compound, calcium, Ca, that's going to have a +2 charge. Nitrate is one of our polyatomic ions. Reacts with, all right, so figuring this out, +2, -1. What we've seen before, least common multiple is going to be 2. So we're going to have 1 calcium, and to show that we have 2 nitrates, we're going to put the formula of NO3 inside parentheses and a 2 on the outside. Reacts with lithium sulfate. Okay, lithium, Li +1, sulfate, SO4 -2. +1, -2, the least common multiple is going to be 2. So we're going to have 2 lithiums to 1 sulfate. Now if we go and figure out what our state of matter is in, nitrates. All nitrates are soluble. So calcium nitrate, aqueous. Lithium sulfate, all soluble except with barium, lead, mercury, calcium, silver, and strontium. So this one is going to be aqueous. To produce lithium nitrate, okay, so lithium and nitrate are going to bond up, +1, -1, 1-1 ratio. That is going to be aqueous, since all nitrate compounds are aqueous. plus calcium sulfate. All right, so if we look, calcium plus 2, sulfate negative 2. Charges are like numbers, so we go down to a 1-to-1 ratio, CaSO4. Now what state of matter is this one going to be in? Well, if we look at sulfates, all soluble except with barium, lead, mercury 1, calcium, silver, and strontium. Calcium is one of our exceptions to the rule, so this is going to be solid. Now balancing this out. Okay, 1 calcium, 1 calcium. We have 2 nitrates over here. We only have 1 nitrate over there on the right hand side. So let's put a coefficient of 2 in front of lithium nitrate. Now that gives us 2 lithiums on the right hand side. We have 2 lithiums on the left hand side. 1 sulfate, 1 sulfate. So now we're balanced. I hope this kind of helps you out with that last part of the assignment. Any questions, please email me. Some of you already have. And I hope these videos have been helpful for you. Let me know if you need any more additional help, and I will talk to you later. Thank you.